right. Hey, Coach. Fun game on a Saturday. Was thrilled to see our players go out there and compete. Didn't quite finish it the way we wanted to, but I thought we, were really good in all three phases of the game. Made some big time impact plays. Our fans were absolutely unbelievable. It's the loudest that I've experienced Autzen, and excited to experience that some more.
Back, Matt.
There's obviously been some talk about you and another school in the last couple days. Just your thoughts on that, how you handled that, and just your commitment to Oregon.
Yeah, we talk about outside noise a lot in our program. I guess the reality here is my name and our program would never be in a topic of conversation for another school if we didn't have something here that everybody else wanted. And the reason we have something here that everybody else wants, that's because of what our players, our coaches, the support that exists here at Oregon have created. I think I've been really, really clear here since day one. Everything I want exists right here. I'm not going anywhere. There's zero chance that I would be coaching somewhere else. I've got unfinished business here. There's a lot that I want to accomplish here at Oregon. My number one priority is being elite here at Oregon. And we have the resources, the tools. Anybody that can't understand why you would want to be here at this place doesn't understand exactly what exists here, right? Like what I've said before, with a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old, to be able to raise your family in a community like this, to be able to compete for championships and have the ability to get the resources you need. A lot of coaches hang on to these moments and they don't do anything or don't say anything. One, because they don't want egg on their face when they decide to do something else, right? Two, because they're concerned about things that I'm not concerned about, like getting a better contract. Like, I'm taken care of extremely well here at Oregon. I have the resources I need here at Oregon to be really, really successful. I'm not motivated by that. I'm motivated by winning. I'm motivated by being elite here. And our players deserve my complete focus. Our fans deserve the best product on the field. So it's outside noise. It didn't matter before. It doesn't matter now. I'll continue to say it till I'm blue in the face. I want to be here at Oregon. That hasn't changed. That won't change.
Front right, Zach.
You've talked a lot this year about how you thought that Bo was the best quarterback in the nation. On Saturday night, you mentioned Heisman for, I think, the first time this year. How do you, when you have so many goals as a team, but you're still, that's important. It's a important thing. How do you kind of balance the wanting to win as a team and then also having the spotlight for Bo?
Well, Bo's earned that attention, and Bo would be the first one sitting up here to tell you that he's earned that attention because of the things that his teammates have done and the people around him have done. He's been elite for us since the moment he got here. He's obviously a really dynamic and special player. He performed extremely well in every one of our games this year. There isn't a game that I don't think he's performed really, really well. But those things come to teams that are having a lot of success, right? And I think you always go back and look at teams that have Heisman winners, and they've done well throughout the season. They've been competing for an opportunity for championships at the end of the year. So if you made Bo pick what he could have, I promise you the first thing he wants is a championship. And we know that the rest will kind of take care of itself. But if you can't watch his performance and recognize what he's been able to do for this team and what he means from a value and what he creates to the opponent, you're not able to really watch college football with a clear lens.
Eric, second row left. Reference kind of the fourth quarter and some of the execution. I'm curious, having watched the film, kind of where you saw those issues and what was your message to the team about correcting them this week?
Yeah, there's several things. One, you're playing a team that is one of the best offenses in college football and one of the best players in college football. So you know that they're never ever out of the fight, and when that happens, you got to be able to go finish. And we did. We finished, but they had a spark. They had some life because we gave them some opportunities. So whether it's an untimely penalty, whether it's not getting a fourth down stop when you have a chance, I think some of those things showed up. And, we talk about trying to play complete games. We talk about that process of good to great. We still have steps to make in that direction. We still have, some progress that we can make there. But our guys came in and attacked the day. I was really pleased with their progress today and what they wanted to go out there and accomplish. Excited to see, how they attack tomorrow.
Front left, James.
Kyrie, Jaleel, Dante, did any of them practice today, and do you expect them to play this week?
Yeah, they all did, and I definitely think they'll be able to help us this week.
On the right, second row, Jared.
I'm just curious what you make of ASU's offense last week compared to what they've done throughout the rest of the year. Obviously, a little bit different personnel-wise.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Kenny and his staff, they can think outside the box, and they're, Kenny's, similar to me. We were both high school coaches before. When you have different personnels, you try to figure out how you can utilize them the most and try to create something that your opponent hasn't prepared for. obviously he was able to put some things on film that other teams haven't prepared for, and I expect him to give us some of that too. It's going to be about us being able to in-game adjust, have a great plan for what he goes out there to execute. But he's trying to put his team in the best position they can to win, and he had some success, doing some unique things.
Zach Wright?
You guys have scored more than 30 points in all your games this year. Could you talk a little bit to the job that Coach Stein has done here at Oregon?
Yeah, I think Coach Stein's done an unbelievable job, building what we had already built here, in a lot of ways from a philosophy standpoint and what we wanted to be and how we wanted to play, the brand of football we wanted to play, but to add some wrinkles. And he would be the first one to tell you that it's not just him. It's our offensive staff. It's our players. We have a really special culture here right now. And it's been created certainly by our players as much as it has been our coaches. But Will's done a great job of, having eyes. I think he's got a really good feel for the game, calling a game, following him, in sequence of the game. And I think he does a really good job of listening to the people around him because he has some elite coaches on that side of the ball that can share their thoughts. He similar to last year and times of the past, he's not afraid to say, "Hey, Bo, what do you think here? What call do you like?" And those are things that we lean on in those clutch situations. So he's done a really good job, and our offensive staff in general has done a really good job.
Back right, Trevor.
At Pac-12 Media Day, Kenny talked about you guys at Memphis making each other better, how you guys were whiteboard enemies, testing your football knowledge against each other. What do you remember most about working with Kenny during those early days?
Yeah, just those challenges were always fun for, us, whether it's, hey, how would you attack this or what takes away this? We were able to bounce a lot of ideas off each other early on. And I think that's carried on to, some success in his career and certainly some success in mine.
All right, Zach.
How beneficial is it for your defense to have a good idea of, what Kenny likes to run on offense and having that experience going against him last year in practice?
Well, it depends on how much he comes out in gate formation. If that's going to be 17 plays a game, we'll see. We expect to see some of those DNA trait type plays that they've always had, that he's carried in this, in the system when he was here, that we still utilize today, and then we expect to see some new wrinkles. But he's doing a good job with his team, creating advantages with numbers, and I think we just always have to be sound. That's a big key in this game.
Right next one.
You guys had 298 yards after the catch on Saturday. What do you think is the biggest contributing factor that lets you guys as a team be so explosive and make those plays after the catch in the open field?
Yeah, really a combination of things. I think we've got, great team speed at multiple positions. That really pays off. I think you see a lot of guys, playing without the ball in their hands that create, good plays and turn them into great plays with their, extending. And I think that our coaches have done a good job of, scheming up, the opponent and finding ways to get the ball in space to great players that they can take advantage of that space.
In the back, Matt.
Yeah, today Kenny was asked just about your guys' offense, and he said that you're even better than you were last season. You can address that if you want, but where do you feel like this team's improved offensively from year 1 to year 2 under you?
Yeah, ultimately just efficiency and understanding what we're trying to accomplish. I think we've got a bunch of coaches out there on the field, right, that know what we want to get done within certain framework of plays. We've done a good job of avoiding third down at times, and when we've been in third down, we've been able to convert at a high rate. And I think that's credit to what our coaches have been able to prepare these guys to go do, and then those guys going out and executing it.
Eric Sengro.
I was going to ask you about that gate formation and what it's trying to accomplish, and as a defensive coach, like what are some of the fixes, I guess, for defending something like that?
Yeah, it's really a numbers game, right? There's multiple plays. It's really, plays that have multiple plays within a play, right? You've got the ability to throw it on the perimeter. You've got the ability to run it. You've got the ability to get the ball behind offensive linemen on the edge. So every one of them can look completely different, but it's the ability to figure out where there's a numbers advantage and then take advantage of it when you can.
Front left, James. The chance to review the film, your thoughts on how Roderick Pleasant played, and what do you expect him to play possibly a big role this week, and if need be, how soon he could actually start for you if some of those other guys aren't available?
Yeah, I think Rod did a good job when he came in for his reps. He, came and competed, was physical. Obviously, made a big stop on 2-point play, and he's always been a guy that we felt like we could use and utilize. What his role will continue to grow as much as we're able to use him and find roles that we can fit him in. Now at this point, at one point we're trying to figure out, do we want to hold this guy from a red shirt standpoint? Well, now we have the opportunity to use him a little bit more because that's not the case anymore.
Back right, Trevor.
On Saturday, you talked about Bo's growth and self-awareness of his strengths and weaknesses as a player. How important of a role did he play in instilling that and helping Bo develop in that area?
Yeah, Kenny was, a huge part of that. Obviously they had a relationship before he got here, and that certainly paid dividends for us in getting Bo to be a part of our program. But Bo is self-driven. Bo is his own hardest critic, and he makes the coaches around him better, right? And he creates that, with himself. He's a guy that's critiquing himself and what he wants to be able to do and how he can get better every single day, and that's really what makes Bo special.
Front right, Zach.
Kind of a two-part question, but have you been able to stay in contact with Kenny much this season? And has there been things, I don't know how closely you've been able to watch that program, but have there been things that you've learned about him from watching him kind of run his own program this year that you maybe didn't know about him before?
I don't know that there's been anything that I've learned watching him play. Just that he's doing exactly what I anticipated him to be able to do, bringing energy to a program. Thinking of ways to win in innovative ways. So I'm seeing a lot of those same traits that I expected to see from him, and we've certainly been in contact throughout the season. This week we'll probably talk a little bit less.
Second row left, Eric.
When you have a kicker like Camden's kind of struggling a little bit, what's the balance of building his confidence, but also making sure you're putting this team in the right spot in terms of choices of when to use him as a kicker?
Yeah, Cam certainly had some plays that he wants back from the game on Saturday, but then I'm also can't help but highlight a huge kick when we're kicking off from a backed up situation. We're able to pin a team inside the 10 or inside the 15. Really tough situation. Cam's talented and he can get it done. When he gets his opportunity, I expect him to take advantage of it, and we'll continue to try to put him in advantageous situations to do that.
Front left, James. How are Bucky and JPJ, and how much of any of the snaps that JPJ was having a little bit of trouble with in the second half due to getting rolled up on and playing?
Yeah, both those guys were practicing today. Expect them to be available. I know those are snaps that JPJ wants back. I think certainly when you play football at this point in the season, you're going to be dinged up and banged up. And I know Jackson wouldn't use the way he felt as an excuse for having a poor snap, but he was playing through being pretty banged up at the end of that game. But I'm glad he was able to get out there today and mix it up.
All the way in the back, Matt.
Saturday night, Bo was talking about his biggest fear is complacency for him, for this program. How do you guys fight that to not get reading your press clippings, feeling too confident in going into games?
Well, we always focus on us, right? And if you can always, go on Monday, go to the doctor and figure out what you can do better. And if the reality is that you're trying to operate to your standard, not somebody else's standard that's set for you, then you always want to figure out a way that you can improve. And that's something our team's done consistently throughout the year.
Front left, James. You mentioned the clock management was an area that you wanted to improve upon. After getting a chance to review it, your thoughts on what can be done better, where the issues kind of lie in terms of his play getting in too early, too late, to still have some decisions to make clock to the end of the play clock. What can be done to improve that?
Yeah, that's really within our staff, but us communicating better and making sure we manage the time, and maximize the time that's on the clock.
All we got for you, Coach.
All right,
Thanks
have a good one.
for your time.